Hello, Exiles. This is Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and welcome to another Path of Exile video. In today's video, I'm going to go over the second update for my Ancestral Protector Poison Totem featuring Wilma's Requital. Now, I was previously using the Iron Mass, however, I decided to try something else, so I'm using one of the new jewels, which is the Balance of Terror, and as you can see, inflict withered for 2 seconds on hit if you've cast Despair in the last 10 seconds. I was unsure as to whether or not this would work if you're using totems, but I tested it and I was killing things roughly twice as fast. I did it on the completely unrolled mid-boss, the poison guy. I forget what his name is. Endless Hunger, I think. Yeah, I have a bunch of writhing invitations. So yeah, I did a couple of unrolled writhing invitations, and I killed the Endless Hunger a couple of times, once with the jewel and once without. It does seem to apply the wither, so unless it was some sort of placebo, but yeah, I think it was like twice as fast I was killing him, so works out pretty well. And so I'm using a rare weapon. Now, this isn't super great, but it is, good enough and probably better than what I had. I'll probably get a better weapon if I continue to play this build, which I think I will because I have a little bit farther I want to push it. 89's a little too early to be giving up on it at this point, but yeah, I'm about to hit all of my DPS stuff. I have a lot more armor now. I went from like 8,000 armor to 30,000 armor. Currently running like iron reflexes, but I'll get more into that after I do my map showcase. So I'm gonna start off with just a tier 15 atoll. That's probably roughly where I'm at right now. I've been doing, the 3 watchstone. I took one of my watchstones out, and I've been doing tier 14 coves and tier 15 atolls for the last probably 3 or 4 levels now. Leveling isn't super fast with this build because, well, unfortunately the delay in the ancestral, and it's going to be a little slower even than usual just because I just had PoE down, and so it'll take a while to get going back up. But yeah, just that half second or so of delay you get. Actually, I like to clear the right side first on atoll. Do the boss first. Orb of Horizon, sure. I don't really need Orb of Horizons. I have a lot of them, but never know. There are some mods from altar farming that can kill me. One of the things that I don't have, I am fully spell suppress capped now, which was a little bit of an undertaking. I actually am taking an anoint to make sure that I'm fully, in fact, I'm running a different amulet on top of that. I've been getting weird graphical glitches with my ritual altars lately too, and that's something a lot of people have. I saw something about that on Reddit as well, so I wonder if that's just a common thing with this patch. We'll see if it pops up here, but basically I'll get like really bad screen tearing, and yeah, I seem to just do a lot more damage right after I cast my Despair, even when I don't cast it directly on something. So I do believe this works. Yeah. Oop. I only have 2 of my totems up. There you go. A little bit quicker of a kill. Current DPS as of now, I think, is around like 2.8 or 3 million, I believe, but my next 4 nodes are going to give me a total of 29% more damage. They're basically my 4 biggest damage nodes that I've been putting off in favor of trying to get some survivability going. So I'm going to see some big DPS increases. And on top of that, I currently do not have my gems all like built up and leveled and everything yet, or qualitied. Yeah, I've been playing Torchlight Infinity a little bit, so I haven't made as much progress on this character as I would have liked. But I do plan on, finishing this up. I do plan on playing some more Torchlight as well, though. But yeah, it's a little slow mapping. I have to resummon pretty frequently. When I move them around, like they can't reach to this side of the gap over here, so I have to summon them over there, and as a result, they take a half second to pop up, and those little things add up and make for a kind of slow mapping experience. I'm hoping this becomes a very good bosser in order to make up for the fact that it's not going to be a super good mapper. But, you know, with my current setup, I think if I don't make any changes, once my gems are all leveled up and once I get probably like 4 or 5 more levels, I'm not going to bother going down to the Abyssal Depths, because I do have the Abyss spec'd on my Atlas tree, except I don't have the Abyssal Depths ones, so I'm not going to get like the plus, you know, monster level and density and stuff, all the good stuff that you would want from that. You know, I plan on running through some Abyss Scarabs to level up a little bit more rapidly. My plan was to do that when my defenses got sorted a little better, and yeah, they're a ton better. I was dying a decent amount. I haven't checked my deaths lately, but I think I had like 21 deaths or something like that. And I think I've only died once since adding Grace, which was like 2 levels ago. So that's not too bad. Get this cleared out. And yeah, I'm just, it's been going alright. Some map returns. I'm not going to do a Legion. I'm not spec'ing Legion, and this build is not good at Legion. I do suspect it'll be pretty decent at, I guess it doesn't matter too much. I do suspect it'll be pretty decent at clearing the Sanctum. I've only done 1 floor of Sanctum so far. I didn't start doing it until I reached tier 14 maps, because you don't get very good rewards prior to that. Good experience. You do get experience for doing it, so maybe I could have done it while leveling, but I just wanted to kind of, you know, run up. Must have left that guy a little bit low. Got 1 more. And just overall, it is not a mapping build, we'll say that, but I do think it'll be a good bosser. Like when I was doing the Endless Hunger, which is really the only boss I've done besides like Liches, which I've done a couple of, but when I was doing the Endless Hunger, I was it did feel pretty comfy to just be able to drop my totems down and kind of, you know, shield charge around him, not be hit type thing. So despite my relatively low survivability, you know, EHP says 40k, but when I check pinnacle bosses, it goes down to 20k. I'm actually used to playing evasion builds, who usually gain EHP when you go to the pinnacle boss, and the reason for that being that bosses or pinnacle bosses don't use their basic attacks very frequently. There you go. We're getting a little bit of ramp there. A little bit. Still a little slow. But yeah, we're going to have 21% more damage and then a decent amount more just from like quality, gem quality and levels. My Awakened added Chaos is still level 1, but I did quality that up. Alright, let's see. So I have this that I was putting aside. There's another Gilded, so I'm just going to go ahead and defer all the Gilded. And do another roll here. Okay. Let's see. Well, I can't buy them all, so I'm just going to defer them all again, and I'll grab them next time. I'll also grab this. Probably should also be looking at the Fractures. And I'll just take this Polished and the Jeweler's Orb. Okay, cool. Get out of that. Got a nice little 6-link. Got a lot of red maps there. Alright. Go ahead and sell that. Get my fuses. And we'll stash all of this. And I'll keep this out so I use it next time. And go over the build. So, a lot of the gear is the same. Wilma's Requital, I haven't done any like lab farming. I don't really like to, so it's either I buy one with Wilma's Requital that happens to have an enchant that I need, which is pretty unlikely, but I will look. or I just, bite the bullet and do some lab farming. Maybe if I see that it's a really easy, good Uber lab day, I might do that. But other than that, big change here, a couple of big changes. One is the amulet. This has anointed on it instinct, which is actually way better than I thought. Cool thing about instinct is the recover 50 energy shield when you suppress spell damage. Now I don't have a lot of energy shield. I have 370. However, it's really nice against a bunch of small spell hits. For instance, say like there's Sparkers or one of the altar mobs that pop up and shoot a bunch of like spines at you and do spells that way. Uh, let's say they do like 1,000 damage, so I'd have 75% of that mitigated by my resist, so I'd take 250, then another 53% by my spell suppression, so that's like 118 or so, give or take. And then so that's what I would take. That's the end result. So then I would recover 50 energy shield. So it's basically like only getting, it's like another like 40% less damage taken from all those small hits, because about 40% of the damage is just instantly given back as energy shield. And when you're getting hit by a lot of things all at once, a lot of little spell hits, those things kind of add up. So I think it's actually kind of underrated, and it's a very cheap anoint too, by the way. Looking at it, it is brown blue, so very, very, very cheap to anoint this. Other big change is this sword, 1.96 attacks per second. I looked for any weapon that already had at least 20% chance to poison, because I wanted to drop Herald of Agony. And then I just put in like, I didn't want to spend more than 25 chaos on it. I just wanted to kind of test it out. I actually got this for 5 chaos, but it had a different craft on it and it didn't have the fire damage. I slammed that with an exalt, hoping to get hybrid, like fizz accuracy type thing. But then I just crafted chaos damage over time multiplier. I think it had attack speed in the presence of a boss or whatever. So I needed more dot multi. This got me some more dot multi, so it's pretty nice. I might have less DPS, or roughly the same DPS as I had yesterday, despite what looks like some upgrades, because I lost dot multi from my amulet and I had to spec out of some damage nodes to make sure my defenses were sorted. But yeah, overall, same body armor, but what I've done, so I have Soul of the Brine King, which gives me 100% chance of being to avoid being frozen, and then reduced effective chill, and then like the stun and block recovery, and can't be stunned if you've been stunned in the past 2 seconds. Really good overall for this particular kind of build, because I didn't want to really spec into a lot of ailment avoidance. And then of course I'm running Soul of Abrath, since I'm running Searing Exarch altars. But yeah, so I ended up just switching over to physical damage taken as elemental, which is basically the 12% physical as elemental is basically when you have 75 resists, 9% less physical damage taken. And as well as that, it also makes your armor more effective. So it basically gives me 12% more armor, kind of. The way it scales is like exponential, so it actually might even be more effective than that. So pretty nice overall. Actually, it might just actually equal that. But yeah, then the amulet is a bunch of attributes as well. I needed all the attributes. Without this, I don't have enough intelligence, or even close to enough intelligence, to wear Wilma's Requital. And it also, I believe, is giving me a lot of strength, 68 strength. Now, I don't know if I need all that strength. I think my strength requirements are... I have 148 required for... Oh yeah, and that if I get a level 21 one, I will actually need this for strength too. So I'm kind of stuck with this. Or maybe I can find another, huge attribute amulet that... Because this is tier 1 all attributes, and then it has strength and intelligence, which are the 2 that I need. And then dex, which I don't really need. But it'd be hard to find a replacement for this that has dot multi, but I can definitely try. Same shield, I just messed around with what resistance is on there. It's fire and lightning instead of lightning. I think now I could go like fire and chaos because I'm overcapped by lightning by a lot. Same rings, I think. Oh, no, this is a different ring than what I had before. This has lower intelligence, so I had to wait until I had this amulet to replace my 50 intelligence ring. The reason I'm using this is it just has a lot of chaos resist, but it also makes sure all of my other resists are sorted and has a decent life roll. So overall, this is a good kind of placeholder, and then I just crafted chaos damage to attacks. This is new gloves, so I decided to get the attack mastery for strike skills target an additional nearby enemy. That does mean I lost a frenzy charge. However, with this I was able to gain dot multi. This has spell suppression, which helped me cap my spell suppress. Good life. Yeah, overall. And then I have damage per 100 dex, and I have 509 dex, so I'm getting 15% damage, which isn't nothing. Might try something else on that, but I think that's fine for now. These are still, I think, lesser. Greater for the chaos dot multi. Same belt. I have been able to spec out of Druidic Rite and still keep full uptime on my silver flask with this up, so that's pretty nice. Have that going for me. Here's another big change. I'm using Dawnstrider now. So somebody actually recommended in my comments that I try out Dawnstrider. Dawnstrider gives you 100% increased effective buffs of your ancestor totems. So when I get this to level 21, it'll have 20% more attack speed. And then I have 50% from here and 100% from here. So I'll be getting 50% more attack speed from my Ancestral Protector. I already have a considerable amount. My attack time is 0.10 with this and 0.007 with my Ancestral Totems down. So they're already giving me a pretty considerable amount of attack speed. I'm going to get a little bit more than that. I think I'm going to end up topping out at like 15 attacks per second when I have everything that I have planned ready. I think I'm doing like 14 or 13 and a half attacks per second right now, though, which is pretty nice with 4 different totems. That's a lot of poisons per second, and we stack up withers now pretty much instantly because the jewel is a guarantee, so it's literally 15 attacks. Which take my totems like a quarter of a second or something in order to stack up full wither. So that's really nice. And then I think that covers everything for gear. Flasks, I think, are... Oh, no, they're a little different. So, I think the only difference is I'm now running a Basalt Flask, actually. So, and it has evasion rating. So with the Basalt Flask, I'm getting 20% more armor. The evasion rating, I would like, maybe percent armor. I'm not sure if that would actually be better, if it would be the same. But with Iron Reflexes, all of my evasion gets converted into armor. So as you can see, I have no evasion, but I have 30k armor. I wasn't going to be able to reach a satisfactory amount of evasion for me to justify running that, so I decided to go the armor route instead, since we were close by anyway. And yeah, this allows me to run like a little bit more of a variety of flasks and gives me more options for rolls when I'm looking for things to keep full flask uptime, although it's not a huge deal for as far as Basalt Flasks and yeah, and sulfur no, I thought I had Stibnite Flask. There you go. I don't have a Quicksilver anymore. So yeah, these flasks are pretty much providing over half of my total armor, just those 2 flasks. So that's pretty big. Yep, still have my same relic. I haven't decided what tier I would want to put on it, or as far as what keystone I would want to get. Yeah, I really have no idea. I mean, the generic go-to is like Lethe Shade would be the generic go-to, but I'm going to think and kind of look around to see if maybe there's something That's a little better. Divine Shield seems like it could be pretty good. Give me a bunch of ES regen. Actually, I think Divine Shield might be the best, but if you have any other possible suggestions, let me know in the comment section. But right now, just looking at that, I'm leaning towards Divine Shield. Okay, so skill tree has a few changes, not too many. I did get the reservation mastery for auras. I was running 5, now I'm running 4. I still think this is one of the best nodes for damage for me, though. One of the most important changes, I did get survivalist because I was having trouble with resists at the time. And then I got the grace reservation mastery now that I'm running that. I have a brutal restraint, and actually this was a brutal restraint I was going to use for a different character and probably still will because it's really good in this spot. I think this might be the same one, I can double check, but I think, yeah, this is my aura effect one. So this one has just a ton of aura effect, I think. Oh, maybe it's a different brutal restraint. Yeah, because I only see one aura effect in the spots I was thinking. Yeah, okay, it's not the same one. But in the spot that I have it in, it's quite good because it is giving me, those two aren't important, but poisons you inflict deal damage 10% faster. That's very nice. Cold resist, which is okay. Flash charges gained here. Blind enemies there. Flash charges here, and global accuracy. So it's pretty good. And there's also flash charges gained on silent steps, but I'm not going to go out of my way to get that. And my fervor is going to have elemental damage, which isn't crazy. But yeah, this tree hasn't changed a whole lot except I spec'd out of Druidic Rite. I still have to stay in this 5% reduced flash charges used for now. If I can get a little bit better flask stuff, I could probably, but right now my silver flask would go down to like 94% uptime or something with that. So I am currently, getting that. I've added spell suppression, so I have Entrench, Inveterate, I think, and then of course my actual Anoint with Instinct gives me 100% spell suppress, even with Revenge of the Hunted down. Oh, you may have noticed I'm actually putting my vitality on arrogance again. I just find that very useful when I need sustain. Like right now, my life regen is 504. That's when I'm on consecrated ground, which is pretty often. It goes down to 305. But yeah, I really needed some sustain. I got some sustain with Golem's Blood, but I needed more sustain. And I do have a level 21 vitality that I might just port over from another character. But right now, 3,500 unreserved life. Still a little low. I still might get like the life mastery for 50 flat max life. That might boost it a little bit. Still might also just get, I have 2 6% nodes, or alternatively 2 4% with 10% evasion, which would give me more armor as well. So a couple of things to do there. So my next 4, yeah, that's pretty much all the changes then. Oh, and cloth and chain as well. Just makes sense. It's a lot of evasion and armor, which scale together, and it's resists, which I needed. Now that my resists are overcapped, I'll be able to put more damage on some of this gear. There's some stuff that I have that I don't necessarily need. Or more chaos resist is the other thing. Like for instance, I don't need fire and lightning here because my lightning's super overcapped. But yeah, my next 4 nodes are going to be Savagery, this totem damage placement, Surveillance, and then the Wither, effective Withered on the Chaos Mastery. And those 4 nodes are going to give me 29% more damage by themselves. And then my other next priority is going to be to get my gems leveled in quality. Probably gonna go for an Awakened Unbound Ailments. No reason to just have a regular one. I have a 2120 multi-strike on another character that I'll bring over. I'll get a 2120 chance to poison. It'll be a big boost. 2120 multi-totems, and then 2120 Ancestral Protector. With my Despair, I have Life Tap, increased AoE, and faster casting. I figure I wasn't using the slots, I may as well, make my Despair a little smoother. I'm also running Enlighten on nothing. I'm leveling Enlighten. I just got that. I just dropped an Enlighten that was 14%, so I'm leveling that up. I have an empty slot here that used to have Defiance Banner. If I could get a little more reservation efficiency, I would put it in. But yeah, I can't fit it in right now. Molten Shell, increased duration. Withering Step, which I don't really use that often, but it's nice to use it while I already have my totems down, just for the chance to avoid damage. Gives me some more tankiness. And it also kind of starts things with some wither stacks on them. But I don't think it's necessary. I apply them so fast now. And then Shield Charge, Flame Dash, faster attacks, Life Tap. Might change Flame Dash for Frostblink, just because it's instant. But I do have some cast speed, so, And then Grace, Haste, and Malevolence. I just took a 21 Grace from one of my other characters. I have like 2 or 3 21 Graces now, so I don't need to be moving them around so much, but I'll try for a 21 Haste and a 21 Malevolence, as well as a 21-20 Despair. And after I get all of that set up, that'll be like the final base form of the build, and I'll be aiming for that for my next video. Beyond that, I might try some like cluster jewel setups. I think like maybe I can path through Heart of Oak to get more life, go through here, and then spec out of all of this stuff here. That would give me a lot of points. I'd have to make up like the lost armor and life somewhere here, but I'm sure I could do that with, jewels and stuff. And yeah, that might be the way that I go, and that'll give me, the decent amount more life. I guess it'll kind of make up for the life I lose here, is actually more accurate. Give me some stun avoidance as well, and some regen if I've used life flask recently, which is one of my primary means of healing. So yeah, that's pretty much, and I guess I would go through here for the evasion or here for the armor to set up my cluster jewel. I have my options. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for now. I think the build is starting to come together. It's just reaching that point where it's feeling a little comfortable. Once I pick up a lot more damage, I'm going to try some, guardians first, and then some regular pinnacle bosses. I might try Ubers on it. I think that might be a bit of a stretch. Poison is really good against Uber bosses just because it is very passive, but my totems might get wrecked even at level 21, so I guess we'll find out as far as that goes. But that's my update. I hope you enjoyed. This has been Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and I will see you next time. Bye.